The cold lights inside the galactic medical ship Shiraylan flickered softly. Machines beeped and screens glowed with data. The smell of metal and disinfectant filled the air. Everything was quiet, too quiet. Vakel, a young alien medic with pale blue skin and long fingers, stood over a medical table. His large black eyes blinked slowly as he prepared the next procedure. Today was special. Today, they were studying humans. Human visitors were rare in deep space. Earth had just joined the Galactic Union 5 years ago. Until now, no full biological scan had ever been done on a human. Vakel was excited, but nervous. He was about to take the first real blood sample from a human male named Ben Reyes. "Please stay still," Vakel said, his voice calm and soft. The translator on his chest repeated the words in English. Ben sat on the table, relaxed but curious. "No problem. This won't hurt, right?" "Only a small sting," Vakel replied, inserting a tiny needle into Ben's arm. The blood began to flow through the clear tube into a sterile container. Suddenly, Vakel's eyes widened. His nose twitched. He leaned in closer to the blood. "What is that smell?" he whispered. The scent was strong, sharp, like burned metal. Like war. He felt it in his skin. A cold shiver ran down his spine. Ben looked confused. "What smell? I don't smell anything." Vakel took a step back, breathing faster. The blood container shook in his hand. He turned to the lab assistant, a female alien named Yari. "Do you smell that?" he asked her. Yari leaned closer, sniffed once, then pulled away fast. Her face changed. "Iron," she said. "That's iron." Vakel's mind raced. Iron? In blood? That wasn't normal. Most species in the Union had copper-based blood, or silicate. Never iron. Ben laughed nervously. "Yeah, human blood has iron. It's called hemoglobin." "You didn't know?" Yari looked at him like he had just confessed to being a weapon. "Your species has iron flowing through its body?" Ben frowned. "Of course. That's biology. 101 on Earth. Iron carries oxygen in our blood." Vakel stepped back slowly. His fingers trembled. His translator buzzed with static for a moment. "Is something wrong?" Ben asked. Yari didn't answer. She turned and ran out of the room, calling for the chief medical officer. Ben sat up straighter, uneasy. "Hey, what's going on?" Vakel didn't speak. He was staring at the blood sample as if it would explode. The chief medical officer, an old alien named Dr. Huril, entered the room a moment later. His skin was dark green, his eyes tired. He wore a thick robe that dragged on the ground. He had seen thousands of species in his long life. But when he saw the blood sample and smelled the air, he froze. His mouth opened. "No, it can't be." The call turned to him. "Is this dangerous?" Dr. Huril didn't answer. He walked over to the sample, looked at the data, then at Ben. "Human," he said slowly. "Do you know what your blood reminds me of?" Ben looked uncertain. "No. Should I be worried?" Dr. Huril's voice lowered. 10,000 years ago, a species appeared with iron blood. They were powerful, fast, violent. They nearly destroyed 3-star empires before we erased them. Ben's eyebrows rose. "What happened to them?" "We wiped them from history," Huril said. "Every record sealed. Every memory forbidden. We never wanted to face iron again." Ben stood up. "Wait a minute. You're saying we remind you of that species?" Vakel spoke now. "Iron blood affects more than biology. It reacts with energy. It enhances emotion, anger, fear, adrenaline. It creates chaos in systems. It burns. You could be one of them, or worse." Ben's face darkened. "We're just people. We bleed, we live, we die. That's it." Dr. Huril turned away already. "Sending a private message to the Galactic Council. We need a full containment protocol," he said to Vakel. "This changes everything." Ben watched them with growing anger. "You're treating me like a bomb." Vakel looked at him. "Maybe you are." The room fell silent. Later that night, Vakel sat alone in the lab. He replayed the scan data again and again. Ben's blood reacted strangely to electromagnetic fields. The iron glowed under high stress. He even noticed tiny energy surges around Ben's heart during emotional spikes. He remembered a story his mentor once told him. A myth, a warning. They came with blood like fire. And when they raged, machines died, stars blinked, and war followed. Vakel thought it was just a story. But now he wasn't sure. Still, something felt wrong. Ben didn't seem like a killer. He had joked during the scan. He had smiled. His heart rate stayed calm most of the time. Vakel opened Ben's Earth records. Ben Reyes had been a soldier, but he had retired early to become a teacher. He had medals for bravery, but also awards for peacekeeping. Could someone with a weapon for blood choose peace? The door hissed open. Yari entered, carrying another report. "We scanned 2 more humans," she said. "Same result, iron blood. But no violent spikes unless triggered by fear or danger." Vakel took the data. "So it's not always active," she nodded. "Only when they feel threatened. Or if they protect others." Dr. Hurel entered. Behind her. His face was hard. "I've sent a warning to the High Command," he said. "We need to classify Earth as potentially hostile." Vakel stood. "We can't do that yet. They are unstable." Hurel shouted. "One emotional surge and our systems crash." "Or maybe," Vakel said quietly, "we're seeing it wrong." Dr. Hurel narrowed his eyes. "What do you mean?" Vakel looked at the data again. "Yes, they react strongly. But not just in anger. Their blood also lights up during love. During sacrifice. They bleed for others." "That means something," Hurel scoffed. "So what? Blood is blood." "No," Vakel said. "Their blood is their history, their strength, and maybe their pain too." Double quotes. Dr. Hurel didn't listen. He stormed out of the room. The next day, Earth's ambassador arrived on the Shiralen, a tall woman named Leon Kim, calm and smart. "We heard something strange happen during the exams," she said. "Care to explain?" Dr. Hurel told her everything. About the iron, the ancient fear, the history. Leon listened, then smiled sadly. "You think iron makes us monsters," she said. "But you never asked why we bleed with it." Dr. Hurel stared. "We survived millions of years on a dangerous planet," she continued. "We evolved to heal fast, to fight back, to endure. Iron is not a weapon for us, it's a shield, it's how we live." Vakel watched her closely. He believed her. Leon stepped closer. "You want to judge us for our blood? Fine, but understand this, we didn't choose iron. Iron chose us, and we made it part of our heart." No one spoke. That night, Vakel sat with Ben in the observation deck. The stars were quiet. Earth was just a blue dot in the distance. "Are we a threat to you?" Ben asked softly. Vakel looked at him. "I don't know yet." Ben smiled a little. "Well, I don't bite unless someone punches me first." Vakel laughed. "Just a little. You're different from what we feared," he said. Ben shrugged. "We're not perfect, but we try. That's all we've got." Vakel nodded slowly. "Maybe that's what makes your kind dangerous and special." Vakel stood outside the council hall, staring at the glowing doors. His hands were cold. His heart beat faster than usual. Behind those doors, the High Command was meeting in secret. And all of it was because of human blood. He had sent them a warning, a short message. Just one sentence: humans carry iron in their blood. It had only been a day since the test with Ben Reyes, the human male. But everything had changed. The Galactic Council, silent for years, suddenly came alive. They called emergency meetings. They sent encrypted messages to old allies. Ships began moving in the dark, quiet, fast, and ready. Why? Vakel didn't understand all of it. But he knew one thing. They were afraid. Inside the chamber, the voices of the elders echoed across the metal walls. "Are you certain of this information?" A deep voice asked. "Yes," Dr. Hurel replied. "Multiple scans. Same result. All humans have iron-based blood." Another voice, sharp and cold, spoke. "Then the old warning may be true. They may be the descendants of the fallen species." The room fell silent. Elder Marith, the oldest among them, finally spoke. "I remember the story," she said slowly. "Thousands of years ago, before the Union began, a species rose from the ashes of a burning planet. They were strong, clever, and violent. They had iron in their blood and fire in their hearts. No one moved. They called themselves the Vascari," she continued. "Their bodies healed faster than ours. Their minds raced in war. Their blood reacted with energy. In battle, their screams made machines crash. Their pain turned into power. What happened to them?" One of the younger counselors asked. "We destroyed them," Marith said. "Or we thought we did. Their homeworld burned. Their history was deleted, all records sealed." Vakel, listening outside the doors, felt a chill crawl across his skin. Were humans related to the Vascari? Back in the lab, Yari was running more tests. She scanned another human volunteer, this one a young woman named Olivia Tran. Olivia smiled politely. "So, what are we testing today?" "Just checking reaction to low energy waves," Yari said. "Nothing painful." As she turned on the device, the screen flashed red, the signal bent. The room lights flickered. Yari gasped. "Again. What's wrong?" Olivia asked. "Nothing," Yari said quickly. But her mind was racing. 3 humans, 3 identical results. Their blood didn't just carry iron, it reacted to electromagnetic waves, especially under stress or fear. That wasn't normal. That was dangerous. Yari whispered to herself, "This can't be just evolution. It looks designed." Later, that evening, Vakel sat in the dark, reading secret records. Dr. Hurel had given him access, though it was against council rules. He read ancient battle reports, fleets wiped out by unknown shockwaves, warriors who stood after death, enemy weapons melting just by touch, all caused by the Vascari. There were no images, no names, just warnings. "If you smell iron, run." Vakel leaned back in his chair. He thought of Ben, of Olivia. They were kind. They laughed. They cried. They didn't seem like monsters. They didn't even know what they carried. Could a species forget its own past? Vakel remembered something else. Olivia had cried when talking about Earth's wars. She had lost a brother. She said humans hated war, even though they were good at surviving it. They don't want to be weapons. Vakel said to himself. They want to be more. He needed answers. Not from the Union, not from the Council. From Earth. The next morning, Vakel requested a private meeting with Earth's ambassador, Leon Kim. She met him in the observatory where the stars looked like distant ghosts. "You look troubled," she said gently. "I have questions," Vakel replied, "about your history, about your blood." She nodded. "I expected this. Have humans always had iron blood?" Leon smiled. "Since the beginning, it's part of how we survive. Iron carries oxygen in our bodies. Do you know of the Vascari?" He asked. She frowned. "No. Who are they?" Vakel hesitated. "They were a species from long ago, powerful, feared. They had iron blood too. Some in the council believe humans may be their descendants." Leon looked stunned. "We have no memory of that. Our history is full of war, yes. But we've always believed we started alone, on Earth." Vakel believed her. Her voice was calm, honest. She wasn't hiding anything. But if this is true, she said, then maybe we were made to be weapons. And we forgot. Or maybe, Vakal said slowly, you were meant to change. Just then, a warning beep echoed from the hallway. Yari rushed into the room. Come quickly, she said. You need to see this. In the lab, the main screen was showing intercepted data. A hidden probe had been sent to Earth's moon. Leon's. Eyes widened. That's a military scan from the Council. They're preparing for something, Yari said. Something bad. Vakal clenched his fists. They want to contain Earth, before anyone else finds out. Leon's voice turned sharp. You need to stop them. We're not a threat. But the Council didn't wait. Hours later, Vakal received an encrypted order. Do not speak to the humans again. Observe only. Report changes. Earth is now classified as unstable. He stared at the message. His heart sank. Back on Earth's surface, Ben Reyes received a strange alert from his old military network. One of Earth's deep space satellites had picked up unknown activity near the moon. Something cloaked. Watching them, he called Leon. Something's wrong, he said. They're preparing for something. She told him everything. About the Council. The blood, the Vascari. The fear. Ben was silent for a long time. Then he said, if they're afraid of us, they might strike first. But we didn't do anything, Leon replied. That doesn't matter, Ben said. Fear makes people stupid. On the medical ship, Vakal stood at the window, staring at Earth. So full of life. So full of mystery. He remembered Ben's words. We bleed, we live, we die. Vakal couldn't stay silent. He sent a message directly to Earth's global defense. You are being watched. Prepare to defend. But do not attack first. I believe in your peace. The Council detected the message. Within hours, Vakal was arrested. You broke protocol, Dr. Hurel said. You endangered us all. I told the truth, Vakal replied. They deserve a chance. Hurel's eyes narrowed. You're too close to them. Maybe that's what you're afraid of, Vakal said. Maybe the real danger isn't their blood. Maybe it's their hope. He was locked in a cold room, alone, but he wasn't afraid. On Earth, Ben read Vakali's message. He smiled. They believe in us, he said to Leon. Then we have to prove them right, she replied. Across the stars, two sides prepared. One in fear, one in trust, but one thing was now certain. Iron blood had returned to the galaxy. And with it came the truth. The lab on Deck 7 was brighter than usual. New machines had been installed, overnight silent tools built to monitor emotional spikes, chemical shifts, and energy reactions. Alien engineers whispered while adjusting the settings. Their fingers moved fast, their eyes full of tension. Vakal stood beside one of the scanners, silent, watching everything. He knew what today was, a test, but not just any test. A test made to reveal something dangerous. Something the Council believed lived inside every human. They wanted proof. Proof that humans were more than just strange visitors with iron in their blood. They wanted to see if humans could be weapons. Ben Reyes walked into the lab with a relaxed smile, his hands in his pockets. Morning, Doc, he said. Ready for round 2? Vakal didn't smile. This test is different. Ben raised an eyebrow. How different? Vakal looked down at the floor. They want to see what happens when you're under stress. Ben's smile faded. What kind of stress? Before Vakal could answer, the door opened again. 2 armored guards entered and stood silently. On each side of the room, a third alien entered. Council Director Relas. His skin was dull silver, and his voice was always cold. This test is necessary, Relas said flatly. We must understand the nature of your species. Ben looked between them. You don't trust us, do you? Relas didn't blink. We trust results. Ben nodded slowly. Fine, let's do this. Vakel hesitated, then turned to the control panel. The machine behind Ben began to hum. "This will monitor your body's reaction to fear, pain, and emotional pressure," Vakel explained. "But it won't harm you, at least not physically." Ben climbed into the scanner, bed and lay back. A ring of light moved over his body. The room dimmed. On the screen, a line appeared. It showed Ben's heart rate, blood flow, and brain activity. Everything was normal until the voices started. A loud, sharp sound filled the room recordings. From Earth, screams, gunfire, explosions, war. Ben flinched. Next, the room grew cold. A hologram showed a burning village. People running, crying. It was a memory, his memory. A battle from Earth's past. Ben's body tensed. "Why are you showing him this?" Vakel asked quietly. Relas answered, "We need to see what the iron does." Ben's heart rate spiked. His fingers curled into fists. On the screen, red markers flashed, iron levels rising in his blood. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The scanner shook. "What's happening?" Yari shouted. "His blood is reacting," Vakel yelled. "Shut it down." But it was too late. A burst of energy shot from Ben's chest. The scanner sparked. One of the machines exploded, then gasped and sat up, chest rising and falling fast. His eyes glowed faintly. For a moment, all electronic devices in the room shut. Off. Silence. Vakel rushed to him. "Are you okay?" Ben held his head. What did you do to me?" Relas stepped forward. "You are dangerous." Ben looked up. "You pushed me. You used my trauma to make me react. You confirmed our fears," Relas said coldly. "Your blood is not just strange, it's a weapon." Ben stood. "No, my blood didn't attack. Your test did." The guards stepped forward, but Vakel held up a hand. "Wait," he said. "This doesn't prove anything." His body reacted to fear, to pain. That's a defense, not an attack. Relas ignored him. He tapped a device. On his arm, "Prepare a full report for the council. Earth must be contained." Ben turned to Vakel. "Is this what you wanted?" "No," Vakel said. "I didn't know they would use your memories like that." Ben stepped closer. "Then help me, because next time they won't stop with tests." Later that night, Vakel sat in his private chamber, staring at the data. The machines were still fried. One of the scientists had been burned. But it wasn't because Ben attacked. It was a feedback surge from the machines themselves. Ben's blood didn't strike first. It responded. Vakel ran the numbers again. Under stress, iron in the human bloodstream created micro-energy spikes. But they faded fast. There was no long-term damage unless the fear was constant. He sighed and leaned back. "It's not a weapon," he whispered. "It's a mirror." Suddenly his screen flashed. A hidden file appeared, one only shared with top council leaders. Opened it. Inside was a secret experiment from decades ago. The Union had once captured a dying number of the Vascari, the ancient race feared for their iron blood. They had tested him in the same way. The results were worse. That Vascari had caused a power shutdown across 5 decks. He had killed 2 guards by accident. His rage had no limits, but Ben had stopped himself. Vakel's eyes widened. Humans weren't the same. They shared the blood, but not the darkness. A knock came at his door. It was Yari. "We have a problem," she said. "What now?" He asked. "Ben is missing." Vakel stood fast. "What?" "He left the station an hour ago, took a small ship and flew toward Earth." Vakel's heart dropped. "They'll think it's an escape or an attack." "They already do," Yari said. "The council has launched a drone to follow him. If he doesn't stop, they'll shoot him down." Vakel grabbed his gear. "Then we're going after him." Yari stared. "That's against orders." "Then let them arrest me later." They launched a small craft and followed the signal. Ben's ship was heading toward the moon. Fast. On the screen, the Union drone appeared. It was armed. "Ben," Vakel called through the comms. "Turn around. They'll fire." Ben's voice came through calm, but heavy. "I need to go home, Vakel. I need them to know the truth. That we didn't start this. You don't have to prove anything," Vakel said. "Come back and we'll find another way." Ben didn't answer. The drone locked onto his ship. "No." Yari shouted. Vakel hit the override on his controls and shot forward, placing their small ship between the drone and Ben. "Target blocked," the drone system said. Relis's voice came over the council channel. "Stand down, vehicle. This is not your decision." "No," Vakel replied. "It's his life, and you won't take it because of fear." Silence followed. Then the drone powered down. Ben's ship slowed and turned around. Back on the station, the council was furious. Vakel was called into the hall. "You interfered with a containment order," Relas said. "I saved a life," Vakel replied. "A peaceful human, not a threat," Relas pointed at him. "You are no longer allowed in human studies. You are to be reassigned." Vakel stepped closer. "Then reassign me to Earth." Relis's eyes narrowed. "Why?" "Because someone needs to understand them," Vakel said. "And it won't be you." Relas turned away. Later, Ben met Vakel in the observation deck. "I thought they'd lock you up," Ben said. "They tried," Vakel smiled. "But I made them a deal." Ben looked out at Earth. "Thanks for believing in me." Vakel stood beside him. "I didn't just believe in you. I believed in something more." Ben turned to him. "What?" Vakel smiled again. "Control." Ben raised a brow. "Control?" "You have something the Vascari never had," Vakel said. "You feel rage, but you choose peace. That makes all the difference." Ben nodded slowly. "Well, I hope that's enough." Vakel looked toward the stars. "It has to be." The room was quiet, but Vakel's mind was not. He sat alone in the research lab, surrounded by flickering monitors and stacks of data pads. Outside the window, Earth rotated slowly in the dark, a glowing blue sphere of oceans and clouds. He couldn't stop thinking about what he had seen during the test with Ben. The energy pulse, the spike in blood readings, the emotional explosion. But more than that, he remembered what came after. Ben stopped himself. His body calmed. His breathing slowed. The danger passed. The blood didn't control him. He controlled it. That fact shook everything Vakel had been taught. He pulled up more files on human biology, charts, comparisons, iron levels. Then, out of curiosity, he opened Earth's historical database. He searched one word: war. Thousands of results appeared. He scrolled through Earth's past battles, revolutions, empires, civil wars. Humans had destroyed each other for land, power, religion, even fear. But mixed with those horrors were stories of bravery. People who risked everything to protect others. Soldiers who stood alone to save the weak. Children who grew up in war zones but chose peace. Yari entered the lab, carrying a new blood scan. "You're still reading human history?" she asked. Vakel nodded. "It's strange. Their worst moments are also their strongest." Yari raised an eyebrow. "How do you mean?" "They bleed like fire when attacked," Vakel said. "But they also bleed when they love. When they care. Their iron doesn't just react to rage, it reacts to everything. Joy, grief, sacrifice." Yari placed the scan on the table. "This is Olivia Tran's result," she said. "Look." Vakel scanned the numbers. During normal conditions, Olivia's blood stayed stable. But during a recent interview where she spoke about losing her brother, her iron levels spiked higher than in a stress test. "Grief triggers it too," he whispered. Yari nodded. "It's like their emotions power their blood." Vakel leaned back. "Maybe that's what the council missed. It's not just about war. It's about memory. He turned to Yari. What if iron blood stores emotion? What if it carries memory in a way we've never seen before? Yari looked shocked. That would change everything. Vakel looked out at Earth again. They're not just dangerous, they're deep. Meanwhile, on Earth's moon base, Ben Reyes walked with Ambassador Leon Kim. They entered a quiet chamber where Earth's history was preserved. Digital museum of all that had come before. Leon opened a holographic book. They think we're unstable, she said. But we've been surviving on the edge for thousands of years. Ben nodded. We were born in chaos. Our history is full of pain, but we don't worship it. We carry it. He paused at a page, showing an old photograph soldiers during World War I, tired faces, dirty uniforms. One man holding another who had been injured. Ben touched the image. My great-grandfather fought in that war, he said. He was shot twice, but kept fighting. He said the pain didn't matter. What mattered was the guy next to him. Lian looked at the photo. Iron blood, but not used for hate. Ben turned to her. They need to see that. Back on the station, Vakel requested a new test, not physical, not emotional, cultural. He invited human volunteers to speak about their memories. One by one, they entered a quiet room and talked. Some spoke of love, some of loss, others of victory or hope. The scans were shocking. Each deep emotional memory caused the blood to change, to shine. We're not testing strength, Vakel said, showing the results to the science team. We're seeing memory, alive, inside them. An old alien doctor, part of the Viscari archive team, examined the scans. His face turned pale. This is impossible, he whispered. Our oldest records show the Vascari's blood turned hot only during rage. These humans, they activate it with love? Vakel nodded. They are not the same. The doctor frowned. Then maybe they're what the Viscari were meant to become. That night, Vakel couldn't sleep. He stood at the observation deck, staring at the stars. He thought of all the fear in the council, the fear of another war, the fear of the Keu, past returning. But humans weren't looking to destroy. They were looking to connect. The next day, the council called for another meeting. Vakel was invited, but this time, so was a representative from Earth. Leon Kim entered the chamber, wearing a simple Earth diplomat robe. She walked calmly, but her eyes were sharp. Councillor Relas began the meeting. We have seen proof of energy spikes, of blood reactions, of possible danger. Earth must agree to limit its expansion until further study. Leon nodded. We will cooperate, but I ask one thing in return. Relas leaned forward. What is it? Let us speak, not in war, but in memory. The room was quiet. Leon activated a small device. It displayed a projection of a human soldier holding a wounded child during a disaster. This man had iron in his blood. He lifted heavy debris, carried 3 children to safety, and then collapsed from exhaustion. He wasn't in battle. He was saving lives. Relas frowned. This proves nothing. Then watch this, Leon said. Another image. A nurse treating patients in a flooded hospital. Her blood levels were later scanned. Iron levels had spiked through stress and compassion. We don't deny our biology, Leon said, but don't judge our hearts by our blood. The council whispered among themselves. Vakel stood. I've tested them, he said. I've watched them. Their strength is not in their power. It's in their choice. Relas spoke again, quietly. And what if they choose war one day? Ben Reyes entered the room then. He had been waiting silently. If we choose war, Ben said, it will be because you forced us, not because we wanted it. He stepped forward. But if you let us choose peace, you'll see what iron can really protect. Relas stared at him. Then finally, Elder Marith spoke. I remember when we feared fire, she said. But fire also warms homes. It cooks food. It lights the dark. She looked at Ben. Perhaps iron is the same. Silence filled the room. Then she nodded. We will not act in fear. Earth may continue to grow. The meeting ended. Leon turned to Vakal. You helped us, Vakal smiled. No, you helped us understand. Ben joined them. So, what happens now? Vakal looked at both of them. Now? We build something new. Far away, in the hidden data vaults of the Union, old records of the Viscari were unlocked. Not deleted, not erased. Just hidden, waiting. One file had a message written by a Viscari leader before the fall of their race. Our blood is wild. But maybe someday someone will learn to guide it, to grow it, to feel without burning. The file closed, and above Earth, where stars once watched in fear, something else began to rise hope. Vakal paced nervously in the dim hallway outside the council chambers. His skin prickled with unease. The last meeting had ended with uneasy peace, but he knew the council's fear had not vanished. It only hid beneath thin smiles and polite words. His cum beeped suddenly. Jerry's voice whispered urgently, Vakal, you need to see this now. He hurried to the lab where Yari was waiting, eyes wide. She handed him a secure message, marked Top Secret. Akel's eyes scanned quickly. The words made his blood run cold. Operation Iron Guard. Immediate containment and surveillance of Earth. All human activities to be monitored covertly. Prepare for rapid intervention. No contact, no warning. Yari swallowed hard. They're planning a strike. Vakal shook his head. After everything we've learned? After the truth about their blood? Yari's face was pale. Fear is stronger than facts in the council. Vakal clenched his fists. We have to warn Earth. Impossible, Yari said. They've blocked all direct communication. If we try, they'll silence us. Vakal took a deep breath. Then we need a plan. That night, Vakal met secretly with Ambassador Lian Kim on the observation deck. The stars glittered above, but the mood was heavy. They're coming, Vakal said quietly. The council wants to contain Earth before the truth spreads. Lian's eyes narrowed. We expected this. They fear our power. But they don't understand us, Vakal said. We need to show them who you really are. Lian shook her head. Not just words. We need proof. Vakal nodded. I'll help, but it's dangerous. Days passed. Surveillance drones appeared near Earth's orbit. Small ships shadowed human vessels. Tensions rose, but Earth remained unaware of the looming threat. Inside the station, Vakal discovered a deeper secret. The operation wasn't just about containment. There was a team preparing a weapon, something to neutralize Ironblood's energy. He confronted Dr. Hurel in the lab. You're building a weapon? Vakal asked. Hurel's eyes were cold. A weapon of control, for safety. But it will hurt innocent people, Vakal said. Hurel shrugged. Collateral damage is inevitable. Vakal stepped back. I won't let this happen. Meanwhile, on Earth, Ben Reyes sensed the danger. His military contacts warned of strange activity near the moon. He contacted Leon. They're preparing for war, Ben said. We need to act, Leon nodded. I'll ask Vakal for help. Vakal arranged a covert meeting with Ben and Leon. In a hidden chamber, they planned a way to stop the weapon before it launched. We need to disable their control systems, Vakal said. But it means getting inside the council's core. Ben clenched his jaw. I'm ready. Leon looked determined. So am I. The night before the mission, Vakal received a message from an unknown source. Trust no one. The council's shadow runs deep. He stared at the screen. The warning was clear. On the mission day, Vakal, Ben, and Leon boarded a stealth ship bound for the council's central hub. The journey was tense, silence heavy between them. They landed inside the facility, bypassing guards and cameras. Vakal guided them through hidden tunnels until they reached the control room. Inside, a massive console hummed with power. Screens, showed Earth's orbit, the weapon's countdown ticking down. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Council's security forces discovered their presence. "We're trapped." Leon shouted. Vakel hacked the system, fingers flying across the controls. Ben stood ready, scanning for threats. Seconds before the countdown reached 0, Vakel found the override. "Almost there," he muttered. A heavy door slammed shut behind them. Guards approached fast. Vakel hit the final key. The countdown froze. A siren wailed. The weapon shut down. They escaped through the tunnels as alarms continued. Back on their ship, breaths heavy, hearts racing. Ben smiled grimly. "We stopped them. For now," Vakel nodded. "But the Council won't give up." Leon looked out at Earth's shining blue. "We need to prepare and change their minds." Vakel sighed. "The secret orders won't end soon. But neither will our fight." They stared at the stars, knowing a greater battle had only just begun. Ben Reyes stared out at the endless black of space from the control room. The stars twinkled quietly, but the silence was heavy. The message had arrived hours ago. Earth was no longer just a distant world. It had become the center of a galactic storm. Leon Kim entered, her face pale but steady. "They're watching us more closely now," she said softly. "The Union fleet near the moon has doubled." Ben turned. "The Council still thinks we're a threat," Leon nodded. "Fear dies slowly." Suddenly, the room's hum crackled. "Ambassador, you're requested on the Global Command Channel." Leon's brow furrowed. "It's time." In the Great Earth Command Center, leaders from around the world gathered. Screens showed satellite images of Union ships orbiting the moon. Military advisors debated loudly. "We can't ignore this," one general said. "They're preparing for war." "No," another said. "They're trying to scare us into submission." Leon stepped forward. "We must act wisely. We cannot afford to start a war we do not want." Ben watched as tension filled the room. Fear was rising fast, and with it, calls for retaliation. Outside, protests sparked in major cities. Some shouted for peace, others for defense. The world was divided, uncertain. That night, Ben met Vasil in a hidden room below the command center. "They're preparing weapons near the moon," Ben said. "If they fire first, it could mean disaster." Vakel frowned. "We must find a way to stop this before it begins." Suddenly, a message arrived from Council headquarters. "Earth is under strict surveillance. Any unauthorized action will be met with force." Leon sighed. "The Council wants control, not dialogue." Vakel looked at Ben. "We need to show them who we really are. Not as threats, but as people." Ben's eyes narrowed. "How?" "Through transparency," Vakel said. "Let them see our history, our culture, our pain." Leon nodded. "A public broadcast. To all species." The plan was risky. The Council might retaliate. But silence was worse. Days later, the broadcast went live. Images of Earth's history filled the screens across the Union. Wars, yes, but also acts of kindness. Communities rebuilding after disasters. Children learning, laughing, people risking their lives to save others. Ben spoke in the final message. "We are not weapons of destruction. We carry the past in our blood, but we choose peace. We ask only for a chance to prove it." Across the galaxy, reactions poured in. Some Council members were skeptical. Others began to question their fears. But not all. In a dark room, Counselor Relas watched the broadcast, his face grim. "They want peace," he said coldly. "But peace is a mask for war." Back on Earth, tensions remained high. The world waited, breath held. Then unexpectedly, the Union sent a small delegation to Earth. Not soldiers, but diplomats. Leon smiled. "Maybe this is the start of something new." Ben looked out at the stars, hope flickering in his heart. "Maybe," he said, "we finally earned their trust." Let me know if you want the next part or a voiceover version. Ben Reyes stood on the rooftop of the Earth Space Command building, looking at the stars. The sky was clear, but his mind was stormy. The galaxy watched them now, every move, every word. The fate of Earth and maybe more hung on a fragile thread. Leon Kim joined him, her face calm but serious. "They've given us an ultimatum," she said quietly. Ben turned. "What choice?" Leon sighed. "Accept full council control or face quarantine. No trade, no travel. Isolation until we prove we're safe." Ben's fists clenched. "They don't trust us." "Not yet," Leon said. "But this is the moment. The choice we make now will decide everything." Ben looked out toward the dark horizon. "Peace or war," Leon nodded. "And it's not just Earth's choice. The Council itself is divided. Some want to trust us. Others want to end the threat." That night, the Earth leaders met in secret. The room was heavy with tension. "We cannot give up our freedom," one senator argued. "But we cannot risk total war." Ben stood and spoke, voice steady. "We have always survived because of choice, because we control our blood, our power. We must show them that control." "But how?" another leader asked. "Our history is full of conflict. How do we prove peace?" Ben smiled faintly. "By choosing it again. By letting our actions speak louder than fears." The decision was made. Earth would accept limited oversight, but demanded respect and dialogue. They would open their borders for peaceful exchange, but keep their defenses strong. In the following days, preparations began. Vakel worked closely with Earth scientists to create a transparency program, live data on human blood reactions, cultural exchanges, open communication. But not all were happy. Councillor Relas met with his allies. "This is a mistake," he growled. "Humans hide fire beneath their calm. They will burn us all if given chance." A sudden alert broke the meeting. An unknown vessel approaches Earth orbit. A guard announced that the Council's weapon systems activated. Back on Earth, Ben stood in the command center, watching the approaching ship. "Is it friend or foe?" Leon asked. Ben shook his head. "We don't know." The ship landed on Earth's moon base. A delegation stepped out unexpected. Not soldiers, but refugees. They were Vascari, the ancient species believed extinct. Via Kel met them. "Why return now?" he asked. Their leader, a tall figure with scarred skin, spoke softly. "We fled war and destruction," she said. "But your blood calls to ours. We seek peace, a new path." The revelation shocked everyone. Ben faced the Council via hologram. "We are not alone," he said. "Our past is shared. The choice is not just ours. It is the galaxy's." Tensions rose. Some humans feared the Vascari. Some welcomed them. In the final council vote, the choice was made. Earth and the Vascari would be accepted as members under strict oversight, but as equals. Councillor Relas seethed, but was overruled. Ben turned to Leon. "The choice was hard." She smiled. "But we chose hope." Vakel watched from the stars. "The blood remembers," he said. "But so does the heart." The galaxy breathed a quiet breath. A new chapter had begun. The council chamber was colder than ever. The great round table gleamed under harsh lights, but the air was thick with doubt. Vakel stood near the window, staring at the stars, thinking of Earth and its strange iron blood. Ambassador Leon Kim stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "We have come far. But now it is time to decide. Can the Union and Earth make peace? Can we trust iron that has burned through fear and memory?" Councillor Relas sneered. "Trust? Iron is a weapon. It brings war. It brings death. We must bind Earth before it breaks free." Ben Reyes clenched his fists. "You fear us because you don't know us. We carry the past, yes. But we carry the future too, a future of peace." Relas laughed coldly. "Peace or deception? You have power that can destroy worlds." Vakel stepped between them. Power alone does not decide fate. Choice does. And Earth has chosen peace again and again. The chamber fell silent as Elder Marith, the oldest council member, raised her hand. "Let us speak plainly," she sighed. "Iron can burn, but it can also forge. It can break, or it can bind." She turned to the council. "We once destroyed a race like Earth's humans. We feared their power. But we never learned from them. This time we must try." Leon nodded. "We offer a pact. A binding agreement between Earth and the Union. Mutual respect. Shared knowledge. A promise to stand together, not against each other." Ben stepped forward. "We know the risks. We accept them, but we ask for trust, not fear." Relas slammed his fist on the table. "This is madness. You open the gates to destruction." Vakel raised his voice. "Or to understanding." The council murmured, divided. Suddenly, alarms blared. The chamber doors slid open. Guards rushed in. "Emergency," one shouted. "A rogue faction has attacked the Earth Embassy on the station." Panic erupted. Leon turned to Ben. "This proves our point. Fear breeds violence. But it can be stopped." Vakel moved quickly, directing security to protect the diplomats and injured. The attackers were caught, revealing conspirators within the council who opposed peace. In the aftermath, the council voted again, this time with clearer eyes. Pact of Iron was signed. Earth and the Union pledged to protect each other, to share knowledge, and to guard against the darkness of fear and hatred. Ben looked at Leon. "We did it." Leon smiled. "Not just us, all of us." Vakel watched the stars once more. "Iron binds," he said softly. "Not just blood, but hope." The galaxy breathed easier. A new alliance forged from fire and choice.